Apple, you deserve this. And I'm going to tell you why. Hi everyone, this is Tristan from Crafting Worlds, where the arts meet community. If you're interested in joining our community, the links will be in the description below. Apple released the iPhone 13 Pros. They all have the macro lens. At first, I was like, oh, cool, macro lens. You know, my stepmom, she loves to do macro photography. I thought this was a great progression for her. Me personally, I wasn't really like a macro guy. And since then, I've become a macro guy. I love macro photography. I think it's really fun. And having it in your pocket is also really fun because I'm so used to macro photography requiring a very large setup. So for instance, this is my Sony macro lens. It's heavy, it is big, it's bulky, and for certain things, it just isn't convenient. And that certain thing that I never expected the macro lens to become so fundamental in my everyday life is shooting my cat. The title of this is not clickbait. The macro ability of the iPhone literally allowed me to get close up on my cat. You know, like I got a cat here, right? You know, and I can just boop, boop, boop. Like it's super easy to get a shot. Now imagine if I took the Sony camera and I'm like trying to get the focus on the ears and in the ears. This would be incredibly difficult, but it allowed me to get really clear and precise shots of what was wrong. Doctors' visits are a lot harder now, and especially when they're for your little fluffy ones like this. So we went through quite a time there where we were struggling to find someone. And one of the most important things in the beginning of all of this, when I couldn't find a dermatologist, when I couldn't get a booking for my cat to get into a veterinarian, because it was just, everybody was booked. COVID has changed the landscape of how you get bookings, be it an animal or a person. And it's frustrating and it's heartbreaking. That's where this came in so handy, because we were able to show a doctor that may not have had the time where Coda was at with her autoimmune disease that we now know due to her diagnosis. And it was getting progressively worse, and it was doing it exponentially, and it was getting faster and faster. And I was ready to lose my mind, to put it nicely. I mean, I even had a vet call me and say, this is what we think it is, but I can't see you. And I was just like, well, why did you call me? But luckily at the end of the day, we did find a vet that was just a wonderful human being that cares about your animal. And the photos, we were able to send them such clear close-up photos with the macro mode of what was going on with Coda's skin. You know, a doctor that didn't have room for new patients was able to see where the severity lied and where we were with Coda's ears and what it could be. You know, they did the test once they did book her, but they saw it and they went, you need to bring your cat in right now. And I'm so grateful for that, because no one would see us. No one. The next available appointments were months out. Like we're talking next year type of months out. And that Coda didn't have that much time. And so I'm so grateful for what this provided. Now, an autoimmune disease, as you know, doesn't go away. You can hope for remission. And, you know, she's a 3.5-year-old cat, so we're going to give her the most life that we can. For the 3 weeks of misdiagnoses and, you know, vets that weren't able to diagnose this properly because they didn't have that specialist nature to them like a dermatologist would, Coda was not doing well. And it was really scary. And I am very, very, very grateful for not only the doctor that I found, but I'm also very grateful for the doors that the iPhone macro photography allowed me to open. And my cat's grateful. I mean, she's happy, you know, she's doing okay now. What this macro photography on my camera phone, on my smartphone, on this device in my pocket has allowed me to do is incredible. And what it has allowed me to do for Coda, my cat, is absolutely incredible. And I have been sending updates weekly. I have not had to bring her into a stressful environment, which is, you know, going to the vet constantly so that the doctor looks at it. Not only that, the doctor is a wonderful, beautiful human being. Just a sweet, kind person who actually cares about your pet. And they're not charging me for taking a look at the photos. So whereas if you didn't have the ability to take crystal clear photos of, you know, what's happening, if it's a lesion, if it's a crust, if it's, you know, I don't know exactly what they are. I'm starting to understand them more as time goes on. But being able to show her that really quickly, uploading it, and just, you know, even she said the quality of the photos you are sending me are on par with a microscope. And like in the beginning of the video, bravo Apple. Like, it's something that we didn't know we needed, but it absolutely should be on every smartphone going forward. And that's what makes a smartphone smart, is when it can enhance the quality of life for you and those around you. And the macro photography truly has made this really frustrating and really upsetting autoimmune disease much more manageable, because it gets overwhelming. And, you know, you get nervous because your cat can't talk to you, but you can take pictures and you can take macro photos and you can send them to your doctor and you can go, hey, is it really bad today? Do I need to put a different ointment on it? Do we need to change medications? And you don't necessarily need to go into an office visit. I mean, their office is actually still closed to people. You have to drop your cat off to even go in. And this doctor is just a wonderful person, and truly, she tries to make it so that I don't have to go in, because she knows it stresses the cat, and she also doesn't want to charge me. And she says, if you can just send me the photos, it will help to keep the costs down, because something like this gets costly. GoFundMe in the description. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I cannot be more grateful for having this phone. And I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, it's just a phone. You have a macro lens. You have a big ass camera. Like, why do you need this? Because it's something that's always with me, and it's something that can just work with an animal. Animals don't, you can't just say, hey, can you, hold your ear out to the left a little bit? You have to kind of finagle with a cat. It has been able to ease my mind. It's made the journey much more calm, and it's an anxiety-filled journey. I don't mean that lightly. I mean, it really is. Because I don't want to put up like photos of her disease on the screen. It's not the prettiest thing to look at, but I'll do like a stuffed animal or something, and I'll show you how close we can get to, the ears of this stuffed animal. I mean, it's like the macro on this is so fantastic. It really has helped to diagnose her, chronicle her journey with this disease, and continue to keep updating my doctor while also saving us time, money, and stress. And I cannot express that last one more. The ability to mitigate stress in a situation like this is invaluable. I would pay double for this phone because of what it has allowed me to do for my cat and what it has allowed me to do for my own well-being. Because, it's not just about your animal, it's also about you. You're going to stress about your animal. You're going to worry about your animal. And when you can find a way to make that an easier journey and make everyone involved more comfortable, it's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful gift. And I know I'm sounding preachy, right? But I really feel as though Apple gave us a gift and they didn't know they were even doing it. They didn't, they wanted us to take macro photography, right? They wanted us to take pictures of plants and ice and the outdoors. The medical use cases for the macro photography are just fantastic. And we live in a new world. We live in this new COVID world where office visits aren't necessarily possible. Finding doctors isn't necessarily possible. And being able to share as much information digitally and online and remotely as quickly as possible when someone is sick or hurting, that is really important. And the macro photography on the iPhone achieves that. Sorry, it's been a ride. We're still doing it. Just recently, just this last weekend, she had seizures and we had to go to the ER. She's getting the treatment that she needs. We had to get MRIs. We had to get spinal taps. When your cat has a seizure, you don't take it lightly. Everything came back okay, but man, let me tell you, the wallet. Oof. But you know what? If you adopt an animal, you know that you have to take care of that animal, and that requires financial aid. And you are their financial aid. So that's an important thing to remember. How you doing? What are you doing? She's back home now. She's immunocompromised now, so things can pop up. This is my love letter, I guess, to Apple, and saying thank you. And it's also a note to other people to say, your phone is more powerful than you think. And this iPhone 13 Pro introduces something that can be very useful to pet owners, let alone if you got sick and you don't want to go to the hospital because you don't want to risk infection, or if you're immunocompromised or something like that. So you can take a really close-up photo of something on you and send it to a doctor for a detailed look. And that is so invaluable. I just sent photos today to my doctor to let her see. And we've started her on the new medication, and we will continue to chronicle her progress using the iPhone 13 Pro macro mode because it is so good. The doctor literally said to me, this is the clearest photos I've gotten from any patient, and please do not stop sending these because they are absolutely invaluable to our diagnosis and to keep progress of how she's doing and how the medication is working. And that has eased my mind so much. And it makes me feel better to know what that progress is, because sometimes you go to the doctor and they give you medications and you don't know, you want to trust everybody, but sometimes you don't, and being able to see it and being able to see that chronological progression helps so much. So yeah, this has just been a very, it's been a hard time, but it's been a much easier time thanks to Apple's macro mode. And I think that macro mode should be on every smartphone going forward. I hope everybody adopts this because it is one of the few features I've seen in a very long time that really puts the smart in smartphone. Like I said earlier, it's supposed to enhance your life. It's supposed to make your life easier. And it has absolutely done that, as hard as this has been. Anyway, that's it. That's my story. And I hope that it helps you. I hope that it maybe if you're on the fence on whether you should get this phone or not and you have pets, 100% get this phone. it's worth it. It's paid for itself already on the money that I've saved on vet visits that I didn't have to go to because I was able to get these detailed photos of what was going on and the progression and all that stuff. If you're interested, there is a GoFundMe. It will be in the description of the video. Well, don't mind my cat's tail. It'll be in the description of the video if you feel like helping out or just sharing it. Sharing it is just as good as if you threw $1 at it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do either. It's just appreciated if you could. I'm able to take care of her and I'm able to pay for her, but it just helps to ease the blow. If you can share it and if this video has helped you at all, that would be great. They also have an Instagram. It's Staccato and Coda. Yeah, that'll be in the link in the description below. You can support them through there as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, a like, dislike if you didn't, and subscribe if you haven't. Hit the little bell icon for notifications. And as always, I will see you next time.